Hey, Tuesday, April 20, I don't know. What is the day? 27th? Let's roll with it. If it's wrong, you can
28th?
let me know in the comments. 28th?
No, it's 27th.
27th. Going once?
Yeah.
You know what? We're just going to decide what day it is. It's all made up anyways.
Right.
Oh, man.
Please don't go there. You're gonna get me talking about my other end.
Listen to this. I love it, Bill. So we're here today. It's 7 a.m. Well, a little past. It's all good. We started the event on Clubhouse, and we're so tickled to be able to do that. We're live today, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. If you see this, comment. Let us know you're out there. If you got questions, hit us up. We'll talk about it. We're also live on the TikTok. TikTok, how you doing? Hope you're doing great. I'm looking at you right now. Hey, I don't know how to take that, but I will. I'll just let that. You got to watch out for TikTok sometimes. I'm not sure what's up. I love it though. I love you guys. You're awesome. And of course, we're live. We got a room going here on Clubhouse. And end of the day, we got Billy McCool, Kayla McCool, powerhouse couple from West Memphis, Arkansas. Say hello, Team McCool.
Hello, Team McCool.
Love it. We also got Martinez Rory from Nashville, Tennessee. What's up, Martinez?
What it do?
What it do? Come on, man. What happens in Nash Vegas gets out of Nash Vegas, so you better act right.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
We also got Lucian Linkas from Nashville, Tennessee. What's up, brother man?
What a beautiful morning.
Oh, what a beautiful day. I don't know why, man. I'm just feeling all radio like. I'm like, DJ. I love it.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
Well, this is great. This is great. So, as you know, we come together every morning. I'll be honest with you. I don't know who, if, what, when, anybody, what. At this point, I don't even care because I'm having such a good time hanging out with my friends and family. I just, this is a great part of my day. I've got my herbal tea in my living inspired cup. Even got my living inspired hat on today because that's what I want to do. I want to live inspired. So I don't know, does anybody have a topic that you want to dive into today? Anything settling on your heart? If not, I got something I want to ask y'all about. I need some help. Will you help Brother Jay out today?
Helpers one to another.
Oh my goodness, here we go. So here's the deal, guys. This past weekend, as y'all know, my girls, we had a puke-a-thon. That was always fun. And yeah. And so the deal, and that's by the way, that ain't like, that's not like sympathy for, because that, it just happens. That's not the point. The point is, some doo-doo happened and it threw me off my game, my schedule, my swag. I don't know.
By the way,
whatever you want to say.
once you're a parent, there is no more sympathy. It's over.
Oh, for sure, man. Nobody cares, right?
All right.
That's like when people ask me, man, how you doing? I say, man, I can't complain. Word on the street, it don't work.
Right.
But anyways, so we've come through that. Today's Tuesday, so we're talking like 4 or 5 days past, and I'm going to be honest with you. I am having a slower inclination to get back into the rhythm. Like, so today was the first day, and I'm not trying to make it all about fitness and all that, because there's so much more. Like, that's the cool thing about this group. We get beyond that, but we are in the middle of a 30-day challenge where we're trying to work on our fitness and our health, simply because we just want to feel better, right? We want to feel better so we can do better. And so like today's the first day I've lifted in like 5 days or something like that, whatever it is. But I woke up a little bit later than I'm used to. I'm running late. Like I'm actually still in my gym clothes. Like that's the deal. I am running behind, but it's because I'm having a hard time kicking back in to that rhythm that man was serving me so well. And my question for anybody on this panel, okay, what advice would you have for me? Like I have like some preconceived ideas that I think is going to work, but I'm going to reach out. I'm going to phone a friend and ask, what do you guys think I should do? You guys have got any tips, any ideas, any thoughts?
Give yourself
open.
Grace.
Honey, I just let the Lord do that.
You know,
I'm messing. Go ahead.
Saying, listen, you are you have to do your quiet time to gain some perspective. And I understand you want to jump back in, and it's hard to get motivated again. That is the story of my life. But ultimately, like I just really want you to stop and think and give yourself some grace. Jason, you wear a lot of hats, man, and you are like you go at 1,000. Like I've seen you in action, man. Like you get up and you are going before your go knows you gone.
I about spit my tea out on that. That was awesome. That's one of the greatest compliments I've ever had.
Like
you get before the go
and
knows.
you've had a rough weekend, and you spent that weekend doing what you're the best at, being an amazing husband, an amazing dad, taking care of your family. And this week, I honestly, just from a mom on this side of the bridge perspective, give yourself just a little more grace. um yeah, I know you're running late, and that really messes with our heads. But you know what? Just realize, kind of what happened this weekend, and that took priority,
Yeah.
and that's okay. It's okay that that took
And
priority.
and not only that, it's 7 in the morning and you showed up.
Mmm.
That's
Think
it.
about that.
You showed up.
Hmm. Okay. Number one, let me say thank you to both of you, and I accept both of that. I'm gonna ponder those things. By the way, Bill, I think you inadvertently set the pace for this conversation. What did you say the rabbis they called this?
The rabbis had a principle called turning the gem,
Turning the gem.
which is like if you get a diamond or a ruby or even a prism and you turn it just right, every time you turn it, the light comes through it in a different way. And so the Bible, or the Torah in their case, they would sit around and discuss it and then turn the gem to look at it from a totally different perspective, because Jesus is the light. They were trying to see how the light is going to shine through with this way of looking at it.
Man, that's good. That's good. By the way, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to plug, okay? I'm going to make a plug. If y'all didn't hear old brother Bill on here preach this Sunday at the River Church on Facebook, you need to go look it up. It's called Huh. And let me tell you something. It was excellent. It was excellent. If you are a person that likes to hear things that challenge you, that's going to help you begin to think and really do more, do better, you gotta listen to it. Huh? It's good, dude. It's really good. I love it. Hey, does anybody else got something to add to that? Even if it's a little bit different, like, because I love that. I love hearing from a mom's perspective, saying, "Hey, look, you gotta hang on to some grace, right? Because you are doing your best." And Bill, you just said it, man. I appreciate that. I did show up, right? I did do it. I'm not quite on my game, but I did get here. So I guess I should celebrate that fact, right?
Absolutely, and I feel you too. I mean, it's dad life gets in my way of schedule, and at times this week's been chaotic with work and then school functions. We had to drive an hour and a half to a tennis match last night. We didn't get home. Then you got to do the whole, got to get kids lunches and everything. So it was 11 o'clock before we got home.
Yeah.
And so then you're like, then I'm having anxiety, like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting up at 3:30 to 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh man, I understand.
But Billy, I do plan to turn back into the gym in the morning.
I knew it. I knew my man had some kind of pun. I love it.
That's awesome.
I love
That's awesome.
I love it.
Good job, Lucian. Good job.
That's just wrong.
He said, "That's wrong, man. That's wrong." Hey, it is a different way of looking at the gym, okay?
There you go.
Oh, man. Well, anybody else, you got some advice for Brother JP about getting, by the way, if you showed up, we've got Chelsea rushing from Bristol, Virginia. Good morning, Chelsea. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Yay, all right, Chelsea. We also got Brooklyn Paige Livingston, Nashville, Tennessee. I think she's in the gym right now.
Yep.
Shira in there's probably bench pressing 500 pounds.
Good job, Brooklyn.
Not yet.
Not yet. See, listen, her attitude, she can't hide it. I love it. That's good. Yeah, so I'm being honest. I'm having when I say a hard time, that's an overstatement. Not looking for sympathy, but looking for advice, looking for some understanding. What are some things that I could do, man, that could maybe jumpstart me back into it? I've already heard some great advice. Number one, give myself some grace. Number two, acknowledge that, that I'm showing. Number one, show up, but acknowledge that I showed up. I think that's powerful. Anybody else got some advice?
I keep interrupting.
No, it's good, Bill.
When you start a race, they always say, get ready, set, go. Those are actually 3 steps.
Yeah, that's true.
You have to get ready or do the preparation beforehand. You have to get set or put yourself in a position to accomplish what you're going to do, and then you just got to go.
That's good. You know what's funny? You saying that, like, I think that's a great way to approach that, because like you said, on your mark, get set, go. That's 3 steps. So on your mark means get where you are.
Right.
Where you're supposed. You can't help where you are. You got there. Now that's fine. Just mark it. That's where I am. Get set, because you're about to go. You're about to get something done. But just acknowledge, like, that's good, man. See, this is why we got Bill on the show. Come on, man. I like it. Anybody else?
And if anything, I think it's, anytime you're wavering or have a lapse or something like that, it's, and you know this better than I do, you all do, but, just to set your target, because, like, for example, your target is not everyone else's target. And I tell you, if you're careful, if you're not careful, your target could be everybody else's target. Like, for example, the target of an Olympian is not the target of everybody else.
Yeah.
So when a Olympian gets the advice of or insight from, the dad in the gym, then that target, that bit of advice is likely going to be not necessarily unhelpful, but far away from where the Olympian is trying to go.
Right.
And so, like, the thing about it, there's a saying, too much is given, much is required. We all have talent and we all have skill, and depending on that talent and that skill, we have a target that we have to, or we might have in mind.
Right. That's good.
So, like, the thing about it is, we have to just consider that, or just kind of roll that over in our head. Like, okay, a leader of a Michael Jordan's target is not going to be the person on the bench target. You know what I mean? It's like his level of performance and what's required of him as a champion within himself is never going to be some, that person that is out there saying, well, shoulda, coulda, woulda, that plays basketball every once in a while. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so, it's like just understanding your target and what it requires, because sometimes it does require sacrifice. And yeah, I agree with Kayla. It does require some degree of grace, but don't lose sight of the target.
Yeah.
Well, and also in the Word of God, I'm a talker today. I need to relax. In the Word of God, it says, I have learned whatever state I'm in to be content. That's not an excuse to be lazy. That's not what that verse means.
That's good.
It means at whatever level you are, as Martinez was saying, realize that's your level and be content and keep pushing. And it's so, to tag on what he was saying, everybody finished the statement. With great power comes
great responsibility.
I actually didn't know, so I couldn't chime in.
Yeah, listen to this guy.
Good job, Billy. Good job, bro.
Oh, I love that. You know, it's funny you say that, like, because I agree with you completely. Like, it reminds me of something I heard Andy Stanley tell his church one time, his leadership team. He said, look, in leadership, there's a principle. It's the principle of tension. And what he talks about is there's some things you fix, right? Like you just, it's a problem, you fix it. But there's some things they're actually not fixable, but it's tension. It's the tension. And he said, but that's the way it's supposed to be. He said it's like your hand, the ability for you to take your thumb with your other fingers to grip. What's happening is there's tension that's allowing you to pull something up and carry something and do so tension's not a bad thing, but it is something you manage. Like, for instance, people are not to be fixed. You don't fix, because number one, that's not your job. But what you do as a good is it's my father-in-law, Pastor Livingston, has a great analogy. He talks about the principle of 72. That we're best when the climate is at 72. Mm-hmm. So if you're too hot, you got to cool things down. If it's too cold, you got to warm. That's what a great pastor, coach, leader does. They know how to manage the tension of that temperature of the culture to make sure that everyone is optimal. So I like what you're saying, Bill, because let me say this: you have taken what Martinez and what your wife have said, and you've actually brought scripture to it. That, in my mind, the way I'm seeing it is sacrifice and grace. It's the tension of those two things working together that you just said it. I look at it as even the sovereignty of God. God's fully in control, yet I'm held fully responsible for what I do. That's a tension. And a lot of people are like, you know what I'm saying? Like, well, that can't, so would that be called a paradox? Would that be considered a paradox? Because they seemingly don't relate, but they actually do work together. Bueller.
I'm sorry, what?
I was just saying,
my daughter was grabbing onto my leg.
Oh yeah, come on. What's up? I was just simply saying those tensions. I mean, that's almost kind of a paradox in the sense that they seem like they don't go together, but they really magically work together. When I say magically, you understand.
If you stack two things on one side of the scale, you get a one-sided opinion.
There you go.
So
never heard that. That's cool.
It's all about balance. Like I said, I'm an analogy machine today.
Come on, man!
I love it. Awesome.
So put more. You put the same weight on each side. Well, cool. Well, someday you're going to lean a little bit more to the other side of the scale of, I have to get things done. I have to do this. I have responsibilities. I wasn't able to make it, so I'm going to emotionally flagellate myself and beat myself up because that's what I deserve. When, on the other hand, you could go the other way and say, I'm going to work out, and you could actually start eating away at your muscle tissue and have heart problems because you overexerted yourself. So you got to find that balance of, you know what? I've got a goal. I'm going to accomplish the goal, but I'm not going to, there's a word I'm looking for, demean myself for not hitting exactly the mark the way I thought I would.
I like that. I love that. Come on, man. We all are helping Brother JP. I don't know if anybody else is getting the help, but I'm getting the help today. I'm getting the inspiration. Of course, I think it's on the table. It's there for the getting. But anyways, anybody else got something to add to that conversation? Anybody else?
Anyone? No, but I ditto. I mean, not to beat a dead horse, but it's a reset. First of all, it's a blessing to have the consciousness to know, hey, I'm not where I need to be, or I'm kind of out of the game. Mm-hmm. It's that same consciousness that says that we have that says, hey, listen, I didn't go to church this Sunday, or the last two Sundays. I need to be in church, So I don't know how it is, but people wake up and say, man, I haven't been in church in 10 weeks, or I haven't been in church in 2 years or 5 years, mm-hmm. or whatever. I haven't worked out. I don't understand how people get there, but they get there. And the thing about it is not passing judgment, but it's just like, the value of being conscious as to where you are, so you can kind of like, oh, okay, where do I need to go? Where do I need to get ready? How do I need to get set? And how do I need to start? How do I need to go again?
Mm-hmm.
Ready, set, go, whatever. And so like I think it's a blessing to have that consciousness, but then it's also a blessing to just have a reset. And kind of what helps me, as you all know, or some of you know, is like, hey, in pursuit of the most efficient, most productive, and loving day of my life.
Yes,
and
sir.
Yesterday I didn't achieve it, so I'm back at it today. And
That's
so
good.
every day in pursuit of the most efficient, most productive, and loving day of my life. And so I started off strong yesterday, was killing it. On the tail end, kind of could have communicated better in a couple of situations and that kind of stuff, had a little bit more patience. Guess what? I'm conscious of it. I won't make that mistake going forward. Let's keep it rolling.
That's good. Dude, you reminded me of a quote that I heard yesterday. It's on a video, and I'm going to post it today in our 30-day challenge group. But you just said it, and the reason it spurred me, I believe, is because it's the application now, right? You just gave me a great experiential thing to look at your day. But here's a fun little Jim Rohn quote I heard yesterday, and I was like, that's a good point. He said, persistence is patience in action.
That's good.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Persistence is patience in action. In other words, I know that I'm going to get a result, or I know I'm going to get where I'm supposed to go. I know that these things are going to happen, but until I do, I'm going to be patient and keep doing what I need to do. So I feel like that's kind of the attitude that you have, Martinez. You're like, hey, it didn't go where I wanted yesterday, but I'm back at it today. I'm being patient by being persistent. So, man, that's good. That's good stuff. All right.
So, in Hebrews 12, verse 1, and I love what everyone is saying. And basically, from everything that I gather from my understanding is, we're saying, Jason, you've got your goals. Make sure you don't compare yourself to anybody else. Run at your own pace, even if with the pace that you can go without completely overextending yourself.
Yes.
And give yourself grace when you can't run as fast today as you did last Monday. And one of my favorite scriptures to kind of I remember, maybe it was somebody's house that says, the kids were fighting, they'd say, stay in your own pond.
Yeah. Dude, I ain't heard that in a long time, but it's so true. Stay in your own pond.
Your own pond. Well, there's a scripture that says, wherefore, seeing where we are also compassed about with such a great cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and sin which doth so easily beset us. Now here's the deal. And let us run with patience the race that is set before us.
Yes.
Me, the race that God has for me, the pace that the race that I've got to do today. Let me run with patience what I've got to do based on my my personal record. And just that's my thing, is like, at the end of the day, you're gonna look back today and be like, you know what, it was a good day.
That's awesome. Kayla, you thank you for sharing that, because I went ahead, pulled that scripture up, and just reading along with you as you were ripping that thing. And you know what? It's popping out at me so much differently now, because you just, like, I love that, because number one, backing up, hey, great cloud of witnesses. Well, what does that mean? Man, there's a lot of people that we've gone over, they just went through the Hall of Fame of people of faith, right? And, since we have such a great cloud of witnesses, in other words, since there's so many other people that we've now named that's been doing it, Let's do these things. Let's set aside the weight and sin. What is that? The things that hold you back and the things that you're doing incorrectly. And run with endurance the race that's set before us. Your race. Your race is going to look different than my race. You know, it's going to be a little bit different, but I think we're going to get to the same place, if you understand. Like we can run together. Dadgummit, y'all done got me fired up. Dadgummit. Now I got all hick. I'm a hick fired up. I'm hick fired up. Oh gosh.
Jason, just
yes, ma'am.
also consider those weights could be shame and guilt.
Exactly. It's the stuff that you just said. Give yourself grace, right? Sure, you're not perfect, but I know one that is. Like, and that's the thing. Like for me, I can't do this without my faith. I have, you know, it's got, well, Bill, back me up on this, but you know, the beginning of knowledge is the fear of the Lord, right? Is it knowledge or wisdom? Which one does it say?
The fear of,
the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
That's it. I remember it was one of the three that you talked about, but I couldn't remember it verbatim. So, but the point is, it begins with the you know, for me, and look, hey, if you're on here and you're seeing this, I'm just telling you who I am. Okay, that's just who I am. It starts with God. It starts with what God has done in my life, is doing in my life, and what I believe He will continue to do in my life. And so when I read the scriptures and I see what He has planned for me and the things that He had, like Kayla, sincerely, that's going to be in my head all day. Hebrews 12, 1 and 2. Like
and
that's awesome.
It says that he who endureth to the end shall be saved. Now, I'm not talking about Pentecostal salvation and
I understand.
But I'm saying that endurance is the key. And it didn't say he that runs the fastest and gets the fastest time record and accomplishes the most in one session. Yeah. You know, it says he that makes that next step in front of the other. And all of this grace isn't about giving you an excuse, as Paul said. He said to sin. But what I mean is, it's not giving you an excuse to do maybe unhealthy habits that you know you're not supposed to do, or so it's not an excuse for laziness. It's actually giving you a chance to realize, you know what, these are some things I could work on. I'm going to get up and try it again. Exactly.
Oh, how about this? Overlook what you've done. Let's talk about where you're going. You know,
that's good.
Don't bring yesterday's doo-doo into today. It's done. It's gone. Let's talk about today. Let's talk about the endure. Woo! All right, it's 7:30. We're y'all can text 84321. Oh man!
Here's the deal. You can't bring last season's seed into this season because it won't work.
It won't. It already died. It gave you what it had. You got to plant some.
So quit trying to pull from what
y'all can't see it, but I done took my headphones off. I'm combing my hair, dadgummit. Jeez. Dear God.
I'm done with analogy. Sorry.
Man, I'm telling you, we got some fire in here. We got some fire going on today. I'm fired up, y'all. Today's let me tell you something. Martinez has got a topic coming up soon. I'm just going to give you a preview because he's going to be talking about it. But Martinez, I feel like dominating today, baby. Feel like dominating.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, brother.
Come on, man. I love it. Hey, I love you guys. This is amazing. I'm going to go ahead and shut her down because I do got to bathe. I'm a little stinky right now. Got to go out and but I tell you what I'm going to do today. I'm going to endure. I'm going to run my race. I'm going to endure. I'm going to not worry about yesterday, not worry about the last 5 days. I'm enduring today. By the way, if you were watching this or you watch this later, comment. Let us know what helped you. Matter of fact, I see on Facebook, Nikki Linkus on here says she loves that quote. Not sure which one it is, but because there was some bombs dropped in here. It's like all morning. This is powerful stuff. All right, guys. Tomorrow, 7 a.m., we'll be back getting things going. All right. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. And we also got, of course, our Clubhouse panel. By the way, man, straight up, I'm going to rename that morning show panel to the Fire panel. Straight up fire. Dang, son. I feel it. Awesome. All right. Be great. Be blessed. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, sir.